just sucked starting at 45 and
some thought I was done, many hoped that I stayed low. Darkness hovered over me, yeah, no halo. No friends anywhere in sight, yeah, no NATO. Disappeared like Houdini, took me off payroll. Isolation, self-pity, yeah, got the best of me. Till I realized making music is destiny. Everything I'm going through, yeah, it's just meant to be. There's a reason why I'm hurting, God stay chosen me. I was hit hard, knocked down, but stood up. Fell 10 times, but 11 times got up. Now I'm in the booth, spit truth, thought fight up. I knock real loud, but the door still stays shut. Now I'm tearing down walls, fate ain't an option. I'll go like time, ain't no stopping. One fight is the title, yup, I'm proud to be one like a king in this house, overlooking my kingdom. Many want me to fail, I'm built to succeed. I'ma give them strength, give them hope that they need. Give the world music, treat it as buried treasure. Truth is I'm powerful beyond measure. Many want me to fail, I'm built to succeed. I'ma give them strength, give them hope that they need. Give the world music, treat it as buried treasure. Truth is you're powerful beyond measure. I'm the speed on left that was told I would never pass. Like Duracell, yeah, yo, I was built to last. Wanted me down low with the lower class, but my shot group's tight, I hit them all center mass. Kept moving like a tape that's green on gas. Mash fast, all gas shining like brass. Yeah, I adapt to my habitat. Zero love lost like the shape of an applejack. If you down low, yeah, I'ma lift you up. I'ma guide you well, yeah, kinda like a measure cup. Yup, there ain't nothing you can't overcome. Go up the middle, similar how you split them. Many want me to fail, I'm built to succeed. I'ma give them strength, give them hope that they need. Give the world music, treat it as buried treasure. Truth is I'm powerful beyond measure. Many want me to fail, I'm built to succeed. I'ma give them strength, give them hope that they need. Give the world music, treat it as buried treasure. Truth is you're powerful beyond measure.
How do you do it?
Help me get out of this pain.
no life ambitions
Help me
anymore.
understand.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Suicide's always an option.
Bring me the light. Bring me the light.
Nothing to really look forward to.
I want to off myself.
I just want to end it.
I need help.
Can't figure out how to live, but I damn sure know how to end it.
Every day's a constant battle.
What do I do?
Help me, bring me the light.
I'm not strong enough.
Who do I talk to?
I can talk to the doctors, but what do they know?
You're the only one controlling you, just take control. You got fire deep inside of you and days are cold. If you down in the dumps, that's what you chose. Never accept defeat, that's just one clue. Stand up, man up, that's what you do. Just think how the IGs laugh at you. When you down, they win. When you hurt, they win. And just that thought, never again. We fought through the hard times and we still here. Hear my words, Lima Charlie, loud and clear. Live up to who you are, warfighter is your title. These words that I rap should be put in a Bible. Many want me to fail, I'm built to succeed. I'ma give them strength, give them hope that they need. Give the world music, treat it as buried treasure. Truth is I'm powerful beyond measure. Many want me to fail, I'm built to succeed. I'ma give them strength, give them hope that they need. Give the world music, treat it as buried treasure. Truth is you're powerful beyond measure.
Red Cone 1 Music.
If you're fighting a good fight,
Soldier hard,
don't give up.
about to light up the dark.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky.
Yeah.
If you're fighting a good fight, don't give up.
Nah, I never give up.
If you fall to your knees,
That's right.
look up to the sky.
I failed many times, failed many dreams, impossible to achieve at the time it seems. It was hard to believe, I didn't see how to shine a bright light inside of me. December 23, 2014, depression kept on controlling me. 45 Ruger kept tempting me to take me away from reality. But reality I was blind to see, I was on my knees, I didn't have to be. Stood back up, reached down and was low, I will not live life like this no more. Fail no more, scream no more, too many dead vets, we don't need no more. Negative thoughts took over till I kicked it up high and out the door, yeah.
If you're fighting a good fight,
If you still fighting,
don't give up.
nah, I never give up.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky. You'll see
by many and loved by few. Fell down, plenty held down like glue. Kept on going through the obstacles. Overcame everything I've been through. In time I knew I'd break through. Rise like used to, then pursue. Withdrew all doubts, then push through. Keeping it simple and keeping it going. Even though people, yeah, hate what I'm doing. They can't hate me, but they can't break me. Achieving my dreams, I keep pursuing and staying fluid. Put a roadblock up, yup, I'm going through it. I'm fueled by those who doubt me. Tell me no when I'ma do it, yeah.
If you're fighting a good fight,
If you're still fighting,
don't give up.
nah, never give up.
If you fall to your knees, look up to the sky. You'll see the light.
See the light.
See the light. You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
Keep fighting.
See the light. See the light.
See the light.
You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight. See the light. You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight. See the light. See the light. You're not alone, so keep fighting the good fight.
Hashtag RC1MG.
Hey, it's a little extra long video this evening to start us off, but I'm here with Chad Kazujra from ThreatCon 5. You there, Chad?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, hey, man, you got a mouthful to pronounce, man.
Yeah, just call me Bulldog, man. That's
Bulldog.
what everybody knows me as.
Bulldog, we'll go with Bulldog. With ThreatCon 5 clothing and radio, you can check them out. I know they got sales going on right now. I even got one pulled up. Watch this. Man, watch where it's at. Bam! There's an ad for you. What's going on, Bulldog? Hey, I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, right on, man.
All right, so tonight we're gonna talk about I don't know. I get tired of seeing all these posts about mass shootings and about how the you know how they portray it in the media and the stuff that they talk about, the stuff they go after is ridiculous to me. You there?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I agree.
And I know you posted something to the extent about people they were asking, I guess, about how could he get so much weaponry into the room or whatever.
Right.
What responses did you get to that? Because that's what prompted me to go on with this one.
You know, I think it's important that first and foremost we take the step back and realize that there was 59 people killed and over 500 people injured.
And, you know, the security guard that identified him wasn't even armed and went to the door to try to stop him. Got shot through the door.
Yeah. You know, and people want to be putting so much emphasis on the conspiracy theories and how did this guy do this and how did he do that. I don't get it. I think that we need to focus on the fact that, you know, people lost their lives and we need to be able to mourn without people having to worry about what everybody else is talking about.
Exactly.
And,
I mean, the blatant obvious aren't there. It wasn't terrorism. It wasn't, you know, like, it wasn't a follow-on attack or nothing like that. It was something that happened and, like, yeah, move forward. You know, like, almost 30 years ago now, they had one of the first mass school shootings here in Stockton at a little elementary school. And I mean, that rocked the community forever. I mean, I went to high school with guys that still had the scars. You know, there was one dude that he still walked real messed up. You know, it was constant reminders of that shooting, like, all around us all the time. You know, I know one of my daughter's teachers at that same school, his sister got killed in the shooting, and he was there, and he taught at that school now. You know, so I mean, it's something that can be overcome.
yeah. I think that, you know, people trying to find, well, how did he get all these weapons into the hotel? Well, let me ask you a question, man. When was the last time you checked into a hotel and they looked in your bag?
Yeah. When is it abnormal to show up to Vegas with 9 bags?
Right. You know, and, oh, how did a 64-year-old man move all those guns into his room? I don't know, maybe a luggage rack?
He probably had help, honestly.
Yeah, he probably paid the concierge to bring him up.
They probably brought him up for him. I used to joke on base. I was like, I could rob a base on house and have the neighbor help me.
Yeah, I mean, there's just too much stuff right now that just doesn't make any sense. And, you know, we need to let the law enforcement personnel do their job. We don't need people to be stepping in and trying to be the, Sherlock Holmes or freaking House of the Criminal Investigation Department. I mean, let it happen. Let it work it out. Oh well, how did this 64-year-old guy that was so quiet able to commit such a crime like this? Well, first of all, the guy was loaded, so. He had the means to learn it, and then
he was breaded out.
Right, and then his family, they didn't know anything about the fact that he had got. Okay, how many things have you done in your life that your family knows nothing about?
When you talk, it'd be easier to tell you what they knew. I joined the military and gave them 4 days notice that I was leaving.
I just really think that people need to calm down on it. I get it; it's human nature. You want to try to dissect the situation, but we don't know. We weren't there.
And it comes down to blame. It's like there has to be someone to blame. There has to be something behind it. And in reality, sometimes things just are. Sometimes things just, like the dude just snapped. You know what I mean? There's no telling what was in his head because he was the only one that knew.
Yep.
And honestly, he probably didn't even know. They haven't produced no rhyme or reason on who was getting hit or nothing, right?
Right.
Have you seen the footage?
You mean all the leaked photos?
No, like the actual body camera from the cops, from the police.
No, I haven't seen any of that. I have seen some behind the scenes videos that were released today of people that were rendering first aid, and I don't know.
They have the body cam footage from when the sheriffs are arriving or whatever, and they're like trying to direct people, hey, go run this way, go that way, fires come from this way or whatever, and you hear the dude just dump it, man. I mean, you hear it sounds like belt fed going off. Just it's triggering if if you're kind of sensitive to that type of stuff. I wouldn't suggest watching it. That's why I didn't put it on the show tonight, because especially for the families out there like that, it was triggering for me. Like, it took me back. I mean, you hear the echoing, the ringing. Dude let off.
Yeah, it definitely does sound belt fed. It did sound belt fed.
But and you could hear that he didn't have no trigger discipline. You could hear when he was having malfunctions or something. Like, you could hear all the breakage time in there.
Yeah.
But, and that's one thing that always drives me crazy is they always jump to military training if the guy was military or not. And it drives me nuts because I was combat arms and we had dudes that couldn't shoot. Our job was to shoot. Primary job was shooting. That was it. You didn't have to do anything else. You could be dumb as a rock as long as you could shoot straight. And we'd have guys that couldn't shoot. So I mean,
right.
Like, just because you're in the military doesn't mean you're an expert marksman that can shoot anything and kill everything. And people give us way too much credit sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's really messed up, the stuff that's going on. And again, I know it's human nature, but these people need time to mourn. And this is the thing that I don't think people understand the most about situations like this. Look through history. Tell me right now, off the top of your head, what was the name of the individual that shot up the church in South Carolina?
I don't know.
Okay. What was the name of the guy that shot up San Bernardino?
San Bernardino?
Yeah, the shootings in San Bernardino about a year ago.
I couldn't tell. I'm horrible at names, bro. I'm the worst person to
answer. No, but I guarantee you most people can't answer it.
No.
Right?
No.
And if you keep giving the attention to this situation right here and not allowing the people that were affected by this to allow their families to mourn and for the people to recover, all you're doing is memorializing this in a way that you're giving credit to the shooter. And you're going to have some dumb kid that is looking for attention try to duplicate something like this.
Absolutely.
And that bothers me.
I've heard so many times about it going down in history as the biggest one or whatever, and that's glorifying it,
Right. And then you got all these politicians that want to start coming out with their, oh, well, we need to ban guns and we need to do this. You know what? In 1994, okay, a Army infantryman and his accomplices drove a rented truck in front of a building in Oklahoma City and killed 168 people and injured over 700, and not one gunshot was fired, or not one gun was fired. Okay, so you can do away with all the firearms you want. It's not going to keep people from carrying out heinous acts of violence, because if they are set on wanting to do it, they're going to find a way.
Absolutely. And I mean, you don't need a legal fire. You can make a firearm out of just stuff at the hardware store. For one, and for two, it's people with signs don't stop bad people with guns. Good people with guns stop bad people with guns.
Right.
So I mean, taking more out of people's hands that are willing to stop something is senseless. That's just adding to it. I mean, that's just saying, hey, we're a gun-free zone. The guy's gonna rob the house that says we have no guns, then before he robs the house that says beware of owner.
Right.
But that's go ahead.
No, I mean that's what's going to happen, man. I mean, these people, they're putting emphasis on things that right now aren't important. And I think, for the media that's pushed out the whole, well, where's the gun restrictions going to come into place, and so on and so forth. I think, regardless of people in this country's feelings towards our commander-in-chief and the president, I think he said it best. Could we discuss it? Possibly, but right now is not the time.
Yep.
Right now, it's time to allow the people the healing process. There are probably tons of people in Las Vegas, the residents of Las Vegas, that are dealing with this happening in their city, and the traumatic experience of people that were on site that had to deal with this, and PTSD that is going to come from this, and the amount of people that are going to require treatment. It's
incredible. It's
yeah. I mean, it's sad, that people want to focus on things right now that aren't important in retrospect.
And you can't really speak on it right now with what's known, because I mean, really, all you're doing is speculating. I mean, there's really nothing that's been put out about it, but there's so many stories about it already.
Yeah, and what can we know? What could we possibly know? Oh, well, where was his girlfriend? Well, she came into L.A. today. They investigate. They talked to her. Apparently, nothing came out of it because you haven't heard anything. Yeah. So, all the ISIS. And, it was Antifa. It was
somebody would stake claim by now.
Well, you had people staking claim, but, I mean... I don't know. I'm just tired of the conspiracy theorists. I'm tired of people that want to spew stuff off. I somebody talking tonight that he was a FBI informant, and it was a gun deal gone bad. Come on,
that was
really?
A bad gun deal.
Yeah, so he just decided that he was gonna, take it out on. The people that were attending a country music festival.
Well, and they said he had like 3 or 4 different rooms, so he had different vantage points. He was there for a music festival the weekend prior, and did nothing. So it wasn't something that just was spur of the moment either. I mean, there was plenty of interaction with this man. Plenty of people claimed to seen him and interacted with him. And at the end of the day, everybody kept saying they saw nothing. I mean, which goes to show you won't see the signs. Like, they're 9 times out of 10, that's why it happens.
Yeah. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. And nobody's gonna know. It's gonna take something that nobody is expecting, maybe a week from now, maybe a month from now. Who knows? That things are just gonna come up and, okay, well, now we understand it. But let's give the people opportunity to heal and to mourn their loved ones. Everybody that's talking about, this guy, how did he mow down, all these people if he wasn't trained? Well, you know what? If he was trained, he would have actually probably killed a lot more.
A lot
22,000 people were at that concert.
And they were fishing a barrel. I mean, from 32nd floor, 400 yards away, I mean, he had the vantage point. There was nowhere they could go. By the time they figured out where it was coming from, he could have had half of them mowed down. I mean...
Yeah. Okay. So I retired in 2012. So my memory ain't all that good. Plus I got TBI, but area target for an M4 is what, 600 meters?
Yeah.
So here's a guy up there, firing off into a crowd of 22,000 people and injured 500 and killed 59. So if he was better trained, he probably would have killed a lot more. So all these people that, oh, well, there's no way. There's no way this 64-year-old man. Come on, it's 2017. Okay? A 64-year-old man isn't the 64-year-old man from 1960.
And when you're looking at a crowd from 400 yards away, I mean, you got to hit a box this big, and you're gonna hit something. You know?
Yeah.
Because they didn't really have much cover. I see, man, the video, I'm telling you, it made me kind of sick. It was bad. Like, he had it set up. It was bad. They got ambushed and didn't even know it. Like, that's terrible to see.
Yeah, it is. It is extremely. It's really sad. There's just way too much of it going on. You know, between that and the other things that are going on in this country, where you got the mayor of San Juan saying that they're not getting assistance down there while she's standing in front of
bags of assistance.
Bags of assistance. How can you believe anything when the media will basically tell you anything they think is going to sell their station?
Well, and that's when back during the invasion, they used to send camera crews out with us, and they would come up to us and they'd be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing? We gotta go rebuild a school, that we blew up the other day. What are you guys doing? Who's going for the bombs?" And they wanted to go with whoever was going on the bloodiest mission, whatever was going to be the worst case scenario.
Because that's what sells their paper.
Exactly, and they never gave two craps about any of the rebuilding operations we did or anything else. So we looked like warmongers out there, you know what I mean? And it was ridiculous to me. And ever since then, I really have had a bad taste for media in my mouth because it's seeing it firsthand. It was ridiculous.
Right, and you know what? I'm gonna throw this out there too. For the people that are listening to your show. And, watching YouTube channel and stuff, I get it. Everybody's political views are different. So I may not be able to reach you, but I want you to listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Okay? Your politicians who are out there right now trying to politicize another tragic event. Okay? There are more than 59 people that are killed in a weekend in Chicago over a month. And you don't hear them talking about let's do away with weapons, okay? They don't care about that, but because this was on a national stage, they care about that. So, that's another example of why you need to pay attention to what your politicians are spewing, because all they're trying to do is get in front of that camera and make themselves look good. We need to step up as we the people and start taking control of our country and start making people understand that we, the people, are the voice.
Well, people need to understand, too, where the power is. Everybody's so focused and so worked up about Trump. Yes, Trump is the president. He's the face. He's kind of like I always like to say he's like the front singer for a cover band that doesn't write his own songs or anything. I mean, he just puts out what they tell him to put out, and he does it his way, and people get mad about it. And he takes the focus, but policy and change and everything comes from legislation and the Senate and guys that have no cap on how long they can serve. So these guys sit there bitter about their bill that never got passed, and they just keep waiting until the president gets out and there's a new one, and then he puts it in again. That's why we get some of these draconian looking laws that come into effect all of a sudden. It's because that guy finally got his stuff passed. And nobody thinks to focus there. Nobody worries about that. Nobody worries about the politicians that are directly in line with them that they can get in touch with that can affect change. They all want to just complain about the president.
Yep. He's just a figurehead.
Yeah. And I mean, it's like, people want to complain and talk, but they can't tell you who their congressman is, who their senator is, who's in charge of their district.
Or why they voted for him.
Yeah, yeah, and you know what? Honestly, like I'm a felon now, so I can't vote, but I still know how it works. And I mean, there was times where I would write myself in because I didn't know who was running for whatever. And there's always the option that you could put other and write something. I'd put myself, like just being a smartass. So I mean, I think there's far too many people that are voting just to vote and have no clue about what's going on. So they're just going with whatever name sounds funny or whatever name looks cool or. This guy sounds like someone I went to high school with, or you know what I mean?
Yep. And it reminds me of that old Eddie Murphy skit. You're gonna write yourself in, and the next morning you're gonna wake up and he fucking won.
That would be my luck. I'd be like, oh shit, I guess I'm president
shit.
this week until I get impeached or assassinated.
Yeah, it's a sad thing. Yeah, we've talked about that on TrekCon 5 too. You know, about you know, the people that voted for people just because their parents voted for them, and that's why you've got people like, you know, McCain and Susan Collins and the Indian chief in Massachusetts, you know, that are sitting in these seats for so long because people are like, oh yeah, I got to vote for them because they've been in office already. Yeah, and if nothing has got better,
people are so afraid to change. That's why every president we have is going to do 8 years. Because wrong, right, or indifferent, they're still not gonna. They're not as bad as what could be. So everybody's just gonna stay with it.
Yeah.
Then wish that he fails the whole time. That's what I don't get. It's like wishing the president bad is like wishing your captain that he's gonna steer the boat wrong. Like the dude's in charge, support him. Like what the hell?
Yep.
Let's see. Yeah, vote me in for next vote. That they'd have a field day with that one. Oh man, me for president, I would free everybody.
I ran last election, but I ran out of money.
Dude, it's expensive.
Yeah, I know. I was only able to run for like 2 days.
2 days. The application fee alone is like $10,000 or something.
Yeah, it makes you wonder.
That's and you wonder why they get all corrupt. Oh no!
Hey, you gotta vote. You gotta vote. Mick Allen's voting for you.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, I thought about trying for Congress or something like that. I've spoken for Congress for one of my buddies to get his tattoo shop opened up, and it was interesting having their ear. You know what I mean? It's an interesting group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Because congressmen aren't always who you think they are.
Oh. No, no, we know who they are. They're more corrupt than most of the people that are in jail.
Hey, they're some of the biggest gangsters I know. I'm telling you. Hey, true story. We had a run one time with my club, and we were out at this gas station. It was like a Saturday or Sunday morning. It was early. It was probably about 9 in the morning, and this U-Haul pulls up, all crazy, just comes smashing up, and he's like, "Hey, I like your bikes." This old white guy in a suit, and we're like, thanks, you know, like what the hell? And he's like, you know who I am? Really? No. He goes, I'm Congressman so and so. He was somebody from up in Sacramento who was a politician and a lawyer, and so he would defend himself all the time. And he was always in stuff. Always in stuff. We looked him up later. He's always into stuff. Got into a couple fights with the Hells Angels because something over a female, and he wouldn't back down, so he kept getting into scraps with them, and this dude drives off, smashes off the curb all drunk, and just takes off. And we're like, who the hell was this guy? Turns out he was a local politician. He was wanted by the cops. Like his house got raided the next day or something like that. Like he was on his way out of town when we seen him. But I mean, and that's our politicians.
Yeah, it ain't right.
But there's no one else running really against him anymore these days. So it's like, that's what we got. At least around here. All right. Hey, you know what? Let's cut to commercial real quick. Let's run the commercials, and we'll be right back.
This flag isn't backwards. It's assaulting forward. Born was a nation of independence, who made the choice to make their lives and their families' lives better. Always moving forward, never retreating, never giving up. We carry on that tradition today. Fight on. Break through. Never quit. This flag isn't backwards, it's assaulting forward. We are grunt style, and this will defend.
You're listening to Veteran Radio Syndicate, brought to you by Alpha Outpost. Want the gift that keeps on giving every month that you actually want? Each month, you'll be receiving a box filled with gear that a true American patriot would want. Your first month, you'll be getting the everyday carry. It comes with a badass bag to hold all your gear. So head over to alphaoutpost.com today and grab America by the box.
Veterans a day commit suicide. 20 a day. Active Heroes, a 501c3 charity, is on a mission to end veteran suicide with peer mentors like you. For a $30 donation, you can become a trained and certified peer mentor to help heal local vets and their families. Join now and be listed on the Active Heroes resource map to connect with local veterans. Visit activeheroes.org to join and learn more.
Comes a time in a man's life that laughter becomes the best medicine. Visit the5b.com today and embrace the Bravo. Titty sprinkles.
Hey everyone, John Burke here. More and more these days we're seeing social justice warriors demand that we conform to their weak-minded way of thinking. Well, if you're like me, I get sick and tired of it. So at itagear.com, we are now running clothing that is so damn offensive, it'll send the little snowflakes running for their safe spaces and into the arms of their gender studies professors. So if you like practicing your First Amendment right by wearing offensive clothing, then ITA Gear is just what you're looking for. Let them burn flags, we can wear shirts that trigger them. Once again, that's itagear.com, veteran-owned and operated.
You're listening to Veteran Radio Syndicate on VetRS.com. The best in online radio.
Alright, hey, we're back. Jay, still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, why don't you go ahead and touch on ThreatCon 5 and what you guys got going on over there?
Okay. Well, a lot of people don't know much about us. We're relatively new, coming up on our second anniversary. I started this company because I was working for another organization, and that's all we're going to say about that. That was claiming that they were doing a lot of good for the veteran community, you know, helping out. And I, as an employee, I started noticing that they were basically full of shit. So, started my own thing and have been, you know, basically doing a lot of work helping the, you know, veteran organizations, you know, those that are, you know, dedicated to helping out with veteran suicide, homelessness, PTSD, VA issues, so on and so forth. So, you know, since we started, basically what I do is I just, you know, design clothing that it started with just designing stuff that was bringing attention to stuff that was threatening the veteran community, you know, things like the VA and PTSD and so on. But, you know, people don't really want to wear that stuff because of the stigmas associated with it. So, you know, I started changing it up a bit to, you know, get more patriotic and, you know, things that just, you know, people can relate to. And
It's so messed up to hear somebody say that, like, the VA and the problems that troops have, like, in the same context. Like, it's so messed up that that's one of the issues.
Yeah, it is, isn't it though? But you know, so we donate all the money that's raised has been donated either to veteran organizations or to veterans in need, somebody that may be struggling to meet a bill, or, you know, needs a place to stay, or, you know, just to get them off the street for a bit. You know, and it's basically been my mission for the last 2 years to help my brothers and sisters by any means possible. So that's what
Spartan Prep type stuff.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I'm just, you know, following the footsteps of some of the great men that led the way before me.
Yeah, no, and that's big. I mean, you got to get a mission, you got to give back, and that's what too many people don't realize. They wait too long to figure it out. You know what I mean? They sit there thinking, you know, how do I get going? What can I do? Or they try and, you know, just replicate somebody else's path, but you can't. You know what I mean? You got to do it your own way. You got to figure out what moves you.
Yeah, right on. I wanted to basically do something that wasn't being done, you know, and it's been satisfying. It really has. We've been able to, you know, get many people off the streets. I've worked with some really good organizations, ones that, you know, people don't even think about on a day in and day out basis, but, you know, like some of the service dog organizations.
Let's touch on that real quick, and let's touch on how important it is to vet them regularly.
Okay, like
I feel like I've worked with lots of organizations now, And they've had their good points and their bad points, and you know, some were around a little longer than others, but along the way, some got got a little lost.
Oh yeah, I think I like to work with the smaller ones, because they're the ones that honestly are out there putting their feet on the ground and actually getting their hands dirty. Organizations that have been around for a lot longer, they've got their following, but for the most part, their CEOs are making, 6-digit salaries. And to me,
people hear nonprofit and they just think it's just nonprofit. Nobody makes money there. It all goes back, which is not true.
Exactly. So, I'm working with organizations like, the SD Gunner Fund, Service Dog Gunner Fund. It's a husband and wife who basically are, funding service dogs for autistic children and disabled veterans. You've got another organization, a husband and wife team, Q Missions. They are building homes. They've been around for a couple years, relatively small. Like I said, these are organizations that people don't necessarily hear of or see every day because they're not, doing commercials and
they're not wasting time with that. They're just getting in it.
Yeah, they're just doing it, and what I think is the most important aspect of the work that these people are doing, like Joint Task Force 22-0, they're pushing the awareness of veteran and law enforcement, EMT.
And see, that's big to me. I feel like too many guys that they cry that they want to be treated like everybody else. They want to be equal. They just want to be left alone. But then want to run to everything that's vet only. And it's like, you can't keep creating vet only stuff and then screaming you want to be equals. Like, doesn't work that way. But there's really no reason to exclude law enforcement and first responders, firefighters, medical responders. Like, they go through the same stuff, just here.
Yeah, and a good portion of them, I'd say at least probably 50 to 60% of them are former military.
Yep. And like I said, even the ones that weren't, they do a lot of the same jobs that we do over an extended period of time. And they do it here at home, which is more, in my opinion, it'd be worse.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm with you 100%. And, a lot of people that look at it, they don't realize that. And, again, we've touched on this on ThreatCon 5 radio, that a lot of the stuff that goes on in this world right now. Look at, I don't want to belittle military personnel at all. I'm a 22-year vet, so I've obviously been there, done that, got the T-shirt, but PTSD, PTS, the post-traumatic stress, is not just a military illness. People can get PTS from automobile accidents. They can get it from a fire at home. They can get it from, seeing a loved one die. PTS, it doesn't know a skin color. It doesn't know a sex. It doesn't know a profession. TBI is the same. You can have somebody that suffers a traumatic. My son was a senior in high school, and he left school early with his buddy. The kid was driving too fast. They lost control of the car. They hit an oncoming driver. They killed the oncoming driver. Well, my son had to be airlifted. He had to learn to walk, talk, read, write, all that stuff all over again. He's got a traumatic brain injury. He never served a day in the military. So, it's not just a military thing.
Absolutely.
So it's more important for me as an American. I'm going to throw it out there too, because when I say this, a lot of people look at me crazy. I am a Native American, okay? But when I say Native American, I'm not saying I'm an Indian. I'm a Native American. I was born here. I bleed red, white, and blue, okay? And it is important for me to take care of Americans as a whole, not just military, not just the Patriots. I don't care who you voted for. If you are struggling, it's my mission to do what I can as your neighbor, as your friend, as your family, to be there on the front line to protect you and to make sure that you are in good standing, because that's what it's all about, as our fellow Americans.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that drives me crazy, because I say it all the time that I'm American, and people look at me like I'm retarded. But no, but like, are you Mexican? I was born here. You know, when I go to Mexico, they tell me, go home, gringo. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not Mexican. You know what I mean? Like, so why would I say I'm Mexican? You know what I mean? I'm not Chicano. I'm not Caucasian. I'm not from the mountains of the Caucasus. I was born right here in Stockton. Like,
we're American, you know?
But there's no box on the census, so it doesn't make sense to people. You know what I mean? But if you go to the Philippines or something like that, you know what I mean, you're going to get Filipino or other. You're not going to get a Chinese, Korean in the Philippines. You know what I mean? That was born there.
Right.
It's absurd. You don't hear it in any other country but ours, and then wonder why we still got such segregation. You know what I mean? Why people still look at each other, because they have to check that box. You have to figure something, or you got to put other. I always put other and put American, but it doesn't seem to make its way on the census yet.
Yeah. I mean, none of it makes sense. People just don't get it. You know, everybody wants to throw the whole, oh, well, I don't believe that these people should be in a relationship because the Bible says that marriage should be between a man and a woman. You know what? Hey, what do you care?
The Bible is the oldest novella written. It's just a real dramatic story.
Exactly, right? So you've got these people that want to throw how is it affecting your life any? If a man and another man wants to get married, or a woman and hey, I feel if you're a man and a man want to get married, or a man and a woman want to get married, what it comes down to is this: if you want to be miserable in a relationship, I don't care what your sexual preference is.
Yeah, right. I do not condone marriage on this show. I will not bet the government half my stuff that I will make it work with a female ever again.
All right, so we shouldn't. Yeah, so we shouldn't worry about that. Who cares about what your religion is? Who cares about what the color of your skin is? You're an American. And that's the thing I'm trying to get out. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you on that one. It drives you crazy. I was just giving my buddy a crap the other day because I was at his house at night, and he had his flag up on the flagpole, and he's watching right now. And he didn't have a light on it. And I was giving him so much crap, and everybody kept looking at me like, why I was being a dick about it. But I was, hey, you know what I mean? Regulations. He knew.
Right on.
But, you know, it's I don't know. It drives me crazy. I see it all the time, and it gets frustrating. I hate having to push 2 for English.
Right?
Since when did I have to press an option for my native tongue?
None of it makes sense. I mean, look, you can enjoy your heritage and you can live your heritage, but you know what it comes down to is we are, you know, everybody making a big deal about all this bullshit that's going on with, oh well, you know, we have this issue with DACA. No, it's not an issue. If you were here for 20 years, you had plenty of opportunity to go do the right thing. All right? Let's hypothetically say that you move to Canada, right? And you meet a Canadian woman and you get pregnant and you have a baby. You're an American, she is a Canadian, the baby has got dual citizenship. Okay? If you are both American and you move to Canada, but Canada doesn't know that you're there legally, and you give birth, guess what? That baby is American living in a foreign country.
Really?
So when they find out that you have been there illegally and they kick your ass out, should that baby stay there because the baby was born in Canada? No, the baby was born of American parents. Therefore, the baby is American and needs to get the fuck out the same place that the parents need to go.
I'm with that. That makes perfect sense. Like, honestly, it doesn't make sense to allow kids to stay when the parents don't, because now you're just breaking up a family and you're causing more border drama because they're going to keep trying to come back.
Right. You know? So, I mean, that's an issue. And then you've got the other issue of, well, all these people that are here illegally. Oh, well, we should just let them stay. They've been here for this long. No, this is the problem that we have in this country right now. And, you know, this is where the American in us comes out to where, you know, we are proud patriots that raised our right hand and took an oath to defend the Constitution. Okay? You think about this from an aspect of a small community. Okay, if you've got illegal personnel living in that small community and you've got small business that is already being pushed all these regulations on, they have to keep life and health insurance and all this stuff. You got small businesses can't afford these things. Okay, and then now you've got this whole thing where they want to push you need a $15 minimum wage. Okay, so now not only are they going to have an issue of having to pay somebody $15 an hour, but they have to keep them medically insured too. A small business can't afford stuff like that. So what do they have to turn to? Hiring the guy that's not there legally because he doesn't have paperwork. So now they can pay that guy under the table and not have to worry about the restrictions. Now, who does that screw over? That screws over the people in the town, because the people in the town are now unemployed and the money is not coming back into that community. And that's the thing that people don't understand here. You know, it's a lot more than just, we should let them stay.
Yeah, but
no.
I mean, at the same time, a lot of the jobs that a lot of these people are complaining about are jobs that a lot of Americans wouldn't do anyways. So,
and you wonder why we have a problem with unemployment.
Yeah, I mean, because I know at least for my area, a lot of the unemployment is due to just lack of drive, because there is plenty of able bodies running around this place with no ambitions and no aspect towards the future, but don't even look for work. Yeah, I mean, the few times I've looked, I've found it very easily. I just didn't have the capacity or the patience to deal with it, so I didn't take it. But there's just the hopes for a future around here are dim for some reason, and it's just because they keep running around and killing each other with foolish pride. But that's a whole other subject.
Yeah, I don't.
I'd go on all day for that one. It's ridiculous. Everybody wants to prove something to somebody, but can't tell you who it is.
Right.
It's always them people talking. Let's see. My boys give me stuff about my flag. My flag is down because it was getting beaten up by the weather and was not proper to display anymore. And I haven't gotten rid of it yet because I didn't have the way to properly dispose of it yet, if you must know.
You can do it yourself.
Say again?
You can do it yourself.
I know, but you gotta like cut the stars off and you gotta burn it. And...
Well, you don't have to cut the stars off.
Yeah, plus I just feel bad burning it. Like, it just doesn't feel right.
Yeah, I know, it isn't. As long as you can save it all and bury it, that's okay.
There's another Gonzo, though, that actually one of his students, he's teaching up in Sac now. One of his students I just seen disposes of old flags. So maybe I'll get to him and have a student do it for me.
Yeah, the local Boy Scouts will do it. The American Legions do it.
Yeah, no, actually, you know what? My nephew's about to be an Eagle Scout or something like that. I should have him do it. I forget about that. The Boy Scouts, that's a weird, I don't know. And I don't know, it's weird for us, I guess, here in the inner city, because you don't hear about it much.
Yeah, I don't know about the Boy Scouts, man.
The inner city.
They make me nervous.
Why? They got their
nervous.
Field knife in their handkerchief. It looked menacing.
Yeah.
That's menacing. Honestly, white people scare me the most. If I see one solo white dude in a trench coat or something, that dude's going to have my attention the whole night. Like, he's going to be the one that spooks me out of everybody. You have a whole set of gangbangers come in. You have a whole club of bikers come in. Wouldn't bother me. That one solo dude by himself, that's the one that sketches me out.
Yeah, and see, that's that. You know what? You just hit on something very important there. Going back to the beginning of the beginning of the show tonight, we were talking about all these people throwing out the conspiracy theories. Oh, well, he didn't do this alone, and it was an ISIS thing, or it was people like that stand out. Nobody would have not seen that in that hotel if that was the case.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, I get it. Where you're from.
Again, there was a shooting at a Republican baseball game recently.
Yeah.
The guy just went walking up with all kinds of rifles and stuff just on him, and nobody did anything until he opened up. Nobody tried to stop him. Nobody tried to confront him. I guess he asked directions, and somebody's like, "Yeah, that way."
Yeah. Yeah, but the guy, the senator that he shot did not call for gun control afterwards.
He was realist. He just realized things. things happen. But I guarantee you somebody else did on his behalf.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I just seen in local news up in Sac, this kid, he robbed a coffee shop with a knife and a gun, and this old man, this dude's like probably 20 in his early 20s, and this old man probably about in his 60s. He was sitting there, he's having his breakfast or whatever. Runs up and just smashes it with the chair and just commences to whooping his ass. And now the kid's trying to sue the old man for hurting him.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I saw a
Oh yeah, the news broadcaster, she goes off on old boy on the dude's mom.
On the mother, yeah. So you're telling me that it's okay for your kid to do this? Yeah, that was great.
She just loses it. She's like, "You were the reason why." I was like, "Yes, finally someone says it." The parent.
That was great. That was amazing.
Oh man, that's that sense of entitlement right there. That's that first world problem.
Right. And you wonder why we get kids with issues.
Right.
You know, we've got hundreds and thousands of these Antifa kids out here that are.
What is that? I don't even know what that is. I keep seeing that every so often on my timeline, and I'm just proud that I don't have people that are really into that shit.
Who knows what it is? They claim to be one thing, and they're doing something totally different. So,
what do they even do?
Wreak havoc.
I know we just had a Black Lives 2.0 stand up in Stockton, which I would gladly have them on the show if they could tell me what it means, because I've tried to have a show with a Black Lives representative before, and it was an epic fail.
Why?
And I mean, because like we have a strong Black Lives Matter campaign in Stockton still, and like they showed up at our city council recently, and I give it to them. They had the right paperwork filed out. They were there at the right time. Like they were in the right area. Everything they were doing so good, and then they lost it at the last minute as soon as our mayor or governor walks in. For one, he's like, I don't know, 28 or something like that. Like he's young. He's a very young dude. He's gotten several DUIs recently. Like the dude's reckless. So there's not a very high favor rate for him right now. And as soon as he walks in, they just started losing their mind. They just started shouting at him, "Killer kid, killer pigs, killer cops," or whatever, and wouldn't keep quiet. To where within minutes, the mayor just shut it down. He got escorted out by police, and nothing was heard. I was like, guys, so close, so close.
Yeah, it's too bad. Yeah, they lost me when they weren't. All lives matter, and you're trying to put attention on things. Well, then where are you when a 9-year-old kid gets accidentally shot by a gangbanger, with a straight bullet? Where are you when a black cop is killed? That you lost it.
That's different. That's different. We ain't talking about that.
Exactly, right? Yeah. No. Black lives matter except for these ones.
It's just like with religion when they say you gotta have faith. It's all just bull.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is.
Good times. Let's see what they saying about 11 years married. Gina, you're crazy.
That's in response to, I think when I was talking about it shouldn't matter, your sexual preference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so her and her wife have been married for 11 years.
Other people's business if they would just focus
4 years
on themselves. You know what I mean? Like, I'll never understand it.
I think wholeheartedly the people that are throwing out their their hate and dislike for all these other things have got their own issues that they're not addressing.
They're closetly trying to hide
something else. Yeah.
And it's just like the media. They're putting out all this nonsense about one thing, and then you come to find out weeks later that it was just another scandal going down. That they needed your attention over here for a minute while they figured out their story.
Right. Yeah. Where's all the statues? You haven't heard anything about statues over the last couple of weeks since the hurricanes and stuff, and now we've got this. It's stupid. This stuff is just getting completely out of hand.
Yeah, no, and the thing is though is that people are just such drones, and they'll start to watch one channel and become so opinionated and take on that channel's views. And they don't even realize that it's coming from advertising dollars and whatever Coke wants you to think, because that's who's paying the bills. And if they don't agree with a certain story and they don't want it run, then it gets changed.
Yep. Here we go. We're spitting out conspiracy theory.
That's why it's just very, if you watch channels, if you watch like 3 or 4 of the major channels, and then go back and you watch something like what is it, like C-SPAN, the one that just shows you just straight dry live footage.
Yeah.
If you watch that one, if you can make it through it, because it's dry and it's straight, uncut, unedited, scripted footage, but you'll get really what's happening, and you won't get somebody's spin on it.
All right. So, what else we got?
No, that's about the time we got right now, honestly.
All right, on.
But hey, I want to appreciate you for having you on. I know it's late over there on your side of the coast. Hey, you going to Gruntfest 6?
No.
No?
No.
Oh, I'm supposed to get out there.
Yeah. Nah, I ain't going to that.
You're not going?
I've done mine. I've done 3 of them. I'm good.
Yeah, I just need to get ass doctored. I'm going crazy in this place.
I hear you. You can come to Boston. You want to come to Boston? I'll take you out and around.
Hey, I love Boston. I went out there. About a year and a half ago. I went out there. It was a good time. Went out there to Southie.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
My buddy Sully, he's out there.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, Pikey. He was a medic with me over at 211, and good dude. He's about as hairy as you, but about half your size, I think, in height, not stature.
Dude, I'm not tall, man.
Oh, yeah, you guys are probably from the same neighborhood then. You guys are
yeah, I
both
was gonna
short and
say if he's half my height, he's a short motherfucker.
Hey, he is a dwarf little motherfucker.
He'd have to be like 2 feet.
He's about there. But you guys sound identical though. I mean, fuck, you guys are all from the same cookie cutter mold over there.
Yeah, I'm from just north of Boston. So
where were we stay? We were in we went out there because I went out there for a show with Jeff. I forgot where we stayed, but we were right just outside the airport. But I know we went up to Boston and rode the T and caught a Sox game, and we did a couple things up there.
Right outside the airport, you probably be at in Revere.
Yeah, we're in that area, I think, because there's a strip club right there.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was like the only strip club in the area. It was horrible.
I can't even think of what that would be.
Because I know my boy, he came down from Connecticut, and he took us around. Like, he was from the Chelsea Projects area.
Okay, right.
And then, like I said, my other boy, he was from the from Southie area and stuff. So we went down there. It's a trip, man. Like, it's different. I don't know, being from the West Coast, seeing the East Coast like that, especially all the old roads and like the culture that's there, that probably gets overlooked by the people that are there.
Right.
Because I mean, that's where a lot of it started. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of history there, and you see it when you go like downtown and stuff, and like the little history walk they got and stuff.
Oh yeah. The Freedom Trail.
Yeah. See, and I'm weird. I mean, you know, I smoke a lot of weed and I dress like this, but I get interested in stuff like that. So when I go out of town, I do weird stuff like that. You know what I mean? But
it's all good.
I'm a nerd inside, but yeah, no, it was a good time. I had a good time out there. The speech kept killing me though. The talk over there just everything was wicked awesome.
Yeah, you got your boy here is making fun of me. Ernesto Rodriguez is making fun of me.
Oh, he has no room to talk. He just got back from over. He was over in New Jersey area though.
Yeah.
I don't have no desire to go to New York.
Nah, we parked the car in Harvard Yard.
Yeah. See, he still has his eyes.
Yeah. What you do? What are you wearing?
Who, me?
Khakis.
Oh yeah.
Where's your khakis? Yeah. Where's your khakis?
Your khakis.
Oh, my khakis? Yeah, your khakis. We gotta move the freaking car.
I'm telling you, my dude, especially when you get drunk. Like, cause I had one friend that was named Mike and another friend named Mike, and one was from Boston, one was from New York. And we were in the military in Germany at the same time when the Sox and the Yankees were in the series together. These dudes literally would come down bruised up and knotted up the next morning to formation after every series, after every game. And when we were in Europe, you know what I mean? The series is at like, I don't know, it'd go till like 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
Right.
So these dudes would come fresh from a fight, drunk as shit, down to BT formation, just, yep.
I loved growing up down there. It was awesome.
Yeah, you guys came up different out there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, hey, I appreciate it.
All right, brother. It was good talking with you.
Yep, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, right on.
All right. All right. Hey, appreciate you guys that lasted through. Anybody's got any topics, let me know, and I'll shoot it out there. You see how interested these guys were. Jerks. What are you guys doing?